Hi, my name is Martin Lindstrom. I'm a New York Times bestselling author, including my latest, The Ministry of Common Sense. Now, I was in Miami a couple of years ago for a conference, staying at a hotel, wanting to check the day's headlines I reached for the TV remote control. It was remarkably complex. It looked like it could launch kind of a rocket ship, I have to say. Infinite tiny numbers, a multitude of buttons, the three numerical keypads. Where was the on button? Was it the red one labeled on? Wait, hey, there was actually two red buttons. If I press both, would my TV be incredible on, allowing me to access some supernatural programming that viewers with just one button couldn't? And by the way, what did source mean? And what did ABCD mean? What did all the arrows signify? Now, after I was stepping a little bit around on this remote for a couple of minutes, the TV finally came to life. I watched the news for a few minutes and then I shut the TV off. Or rather, I tried to, because there were two off buttons. When I pressed the first one, the light in the room kind of dimmed in a sort of a sexy, moody type of way. And when I pressed the second button, the air conditioning shut off. Of course, the TV still stayed on. So I was ending up climbing onto a nearby desk and with my butt in the air, pulling up the plug from the wall socket, disconnecting the TV, the minibar, and the standing lamp. Now, a few months later, during a flight to New York, the passenger sitting next to me introduced himself. It turned out, purely by coincidence, that he was an engineer at the very same company responsible for this TV remote. You probably never heard about the company, he said. And I said to him, you want to bet? Powering up my laptop and showing him the PowerPoint slide I made of that very remote control. What the hell went wrong with you guys, I said. And he kind of stiffened in his seat. He tried to explain that the company had internal problems with various divisions trying to get real estate on this remote, right? No one could kind of agree to what department owned what. So ultimately, the TV remote control was divided into zones, each of them resembling each of the internal departments in his company. Now, one was for TV, another was for cable, a third was for TiVo, a fourth was for satellite, a fifth belonged to the folks responsible for broadcasting big band area or hip-hop 24/7 music, or I guess for displaying a crackling ukulele in the winter or something like that. Now, the engineer seemed so proud of what his company had done and how actually things had been solved in a very nice way. As he said, there were no more internal issues. Every division now had a fair representation on the remote, except for the fact I have no idea about how to turn on my TV, I said. And this guy, he kind of looked at me, still not really understanding what I was talking about. How does an overcomplicated remote control circle back to the absence of common sense in an organization? Well, it's very simple. As the engineer sitting next to me pointed out, the average TV remote control with its logographic script and arrows and keys and buttons and numbers and letters reflects any number of internal miscommunication and power struggles inside, let's say, this local telecom. Just as a footbridge with a small crack, tiny crack along one side can indicate more serious foundational problems, an unintuitive remote control points to a few core problems within the organization that it's issued. With half a dozen silos inside the cable company, all desperate for representation, no one was really looking at the remote control holistically, that is, from the consumer's point of view. Now, as COVID-19 profoundly changes the way we work, it no longer makes sense to do things the way we used to. Now, as Peter Fisk says, the old codes of business don't work. It's time to recode your business. And as I'm writing my new book, The Ministry of Common Sense, there is no going back to work. In fact, I call it going forward to work. When you think about it, it's common sense. Only problem, common sense is not that common.